Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, will teachers pass up pay raises to save jobs? And there's some encouraging news about the San Diego housing market.
At the roundtable tonight, the future of the Mount Soledad Cross, what's next for the longest running lawsuit of its kind, and follow that car. We'll get an inside look at how a car makes its way from Germany to the San Diego port and on to the customer in our continuing coverage of San Diego's port.
The surfing Madonna finally has a place to call home tonight. We'll talk with the artist. And we'll show you how Muslim women in City Heights are managing to enjoy a dip in the pool while still observing Islam's modesty rules. KPBS Evening Edition starts now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dwayne Brown. San Diego teachers have about another hour tonight to cast their votes on a new contract. The proposed deal would put off raises and impose new furloughs to save the school district nearly 1,500 jobs. The voting ends at 7:30, and the final ballot count will start tomorrow morning. State regulators are getting feedback about another San Diego gas and electric proposal. The utility wants to create prepaid accounts for people who've had trouble paying their bills. The idea is to give them service without requiring a deposit or credit check. Consumer advocates say people in those plans wouldn't be protected from power cutoffs. Public hearings, by the way, on the plan will continue throughout the week. The State Energy Commission will reschedule a public workshop on a proposed power plant near Santee. The company behind the Quail Brush Generation Project hasn't filed some required paperwork for Friday's workshop, but the San Diego Planning Commission is still scheduled to take the matter up on Thursday. The proposed plant would provide electricity for SDG&E customers during peak demand times. Critics, including the city of Santee, say the plant is inconsistent with the location near homes and West Hills High School. We have an update tonight on the controversy over a proposed Veterans Treatment Center in Old Town. The center would serve veterans from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, but it's been opposed by a charter school directly across the street. The matter was supposed to go before City Council today. Now the two sides say they're close to an agreement on their differences, so City Council has postponed its decision until next month. Some encouraging news tonight about the nation's housing market. Standard & Poor's Case-Shiller Index shows a slight increase in home prices. The gain also reflects the San Diego housing market. KPBS business and environment reporter Eric Anderson joins us from the News Center. We saw a 1% increase in April, Eric. What does the latest survey tell us about the overall housing market?
Well, the most important thing that the housing market may finally be telling us is that it's done scraping along the bottom. The 10 and 20 city indexes both include San Diego. They both were up over 1%. It's the first time in 7 months that the index saw an increase in value on a month-to-month basis. Now, some other real estate tracking firms like Zillow.com are also showing rising home values.
Now, you alluded to San Diego. How is the housing market doing here?
Well, San Diego is showing some of those same positive signs. I spoke with real estate lecturer Mark Goldman at San Diego State University today. He says he sees a lot of indicators that the housing market is getting healthier. He says there appears to be a shrinking inventory of homes on the market. He says more people are entering the market looking for homes, and interest rates continue to be very favorable. Goldman says those things, combined with a growing sense of optimism about the job market, are combining to improve the health of the housing market. And he went as far as to call it a seller's market because he says there's growing competition in the market for homes that people are looking to buy as their primary residences.
So is it all good news, Eric?
Well, housing market far from recovering just yet. The Case-Shiller report shows that home prices did decline when compared to prices a year ago, although the pace of that decline is easing. And new home construction remains tepid at best, and there is still a lot of distressed inventory on the market. Foreclosures and short sales still accounting for a big chunk of all home buying activity in San Diego and in California.
KPBS business and environment reporter Eric Anderson. Governor Jerry Brown's tax measure could get top billing on the November ballot. Today, state lawmakers introduced a bill to put bond measures and constitutional amendments ahead of other measures on the ballot. The governor's tax measure includes constitutional changes, so it would be placed higher than a competing tax initiative. 11 measures have qualified for the November ballot. A bill to regulate the medical marijuana industry was stopped in its tracks today by the lawmaker who actually introduced it. Assemblyman Tom Amiano pulled the measure. He says it didn't look likely to get out of a Senate committee, so he's going to rework it for next year. Amiano wants to create a board to oversee medical marijuana growers and dispensaries. This promises to be a busy week for the U.S. Supreme Court. Yesterday, its ruling on Arizona's immigration law dominated the headlines. Joanne Farian has a breakdown of some of the court's other rulings over at the roundtable.
The High Court also ruled juveniles convicted of murder can't automatically be sentenced to life in prison, and it decided not to hear the case of the Mount Soledad cross. Yes, the giant cross atop Mount Soledad, the longest-running court case of its kind. Joining me to break down these court decisions and look ahead to Thursday's big case is Dan Eaton, a San Diego attorney. Dan, thanks for being here.
Sure. Hello, Joanne.
Hello. Let's talk about this cross, a 43-foot cross on federal land. Yes. How did it get there?
How it got there was that ultimately Congress passed a law that caused the transfer of the cross and the land to the federal government, and that's where it stood. And that was challenged as a violation of the United States Constitution's prohibition on the establishment of religion. And ultimately, the San Diego federal judge who heard the case, Larry Burns, said, no, it doesn't offend the Establishment Clause, but the Ninth Circuit seemed to disagree, and that was the appeal that was taken to the U.S. Supreme Court.
So what did the Ninth Circuit say?
The Ninth Circuit said that as it's currently configured, the cross site offends the prohibition on the establishment of religion. The Ninth Circuit said, we're not deciding whether a cross cannot be part of the site, the memorial site. What they said was, that's not before us, but as currently configured with the dominance of the cross, the 43-foot cross, given the history of the cross and so on, it cannot stand as it's currently configured. It just it offends the establishment of religion.
So it's unconstitutional as it stands now?
As it stands, but what's interesting is the Ninth Circuit didn't say exactly what needed to be done. Instead, they tossed it back to the San Diego federal judge. The federal government didn't want to wait, so they said, no, the U.S. Supreme Court, could you help us out here? We see where this is going. And the U.S. Supreme Court unanimously, Joanne, said, it's too early.
And that's unusual, first of all, for them to be unanimous about anything.
Well, about anything, that's
right.
But what's also unusual, Joanne, is that Justice Sam Alito, who is one of the conservative justices, issued a separate statement explaining why the court wasn't taking review at this time. Normally, Joanne, when they don't accept review, it just says cert denied, review denied, essentially. But Justice Alito said, look, we are not deciding the merits on this. What we are saying is that go back and look at this and see what you come up with respect to what has to be done with the cross site and federal government. If you're unhappy, or the person who's challenging it, if you're unhappy, come back to see us. And then maybe we will weigh in ultimately on whether the site, as it's currently configured, passes constitutional muster.
So then what does happen now? Who does? Who goes back to reevaluate and to say, okay, can we make a change? What should we do?
Goes right back here to San Diego Federal Court, Joanne. And a San Diego federal judge, it was Larry Burns, I assume he's going to get the case again, and he's going to have to look at it again in light of the Ninth Circuit's ruling, because he is bound by what the Ninth Circuit said in its ruling. And he's going to have to decide the remedy in light of the Ninth Circuit's ruling that the cross site, as it's currently configured, is unconstitutional. So he'll come up with something, and then the dissatisfied party will go ahead and appeal to the Ninth Circuit again, and then the dissatisfied party will go ahead and go and see the U.S. Supreme Court again.
We will continue reporting on this. I want to move on to another big
Sure.
decision that came out yesterday. Now, this affects juveniles who are convicted of murder. What did the court decide?
The court decided, Joanne, that mandatory sentencing for life without parole, even for juvenile murders, was unconstitutional. It offended the Eighth Amendment's prohibition on cruel and unusual punishment. It said no. Justice Kagan, in her opinion, said, we're not ruling out the possibility that some juvenile offenders may be sent away for life without the possibility of parole. What we are saying, though, is, as you said in the opening, you can't have a state law that automatically sends them away if they are convicted of murder.
So I want to pick up on two things you said. First of all, state law and mandatory. So this would depend on what state you're in and whether or not that state has a mandatory minimum or a mandatory life in prison for a juvenile.
That's right, without parole. Of course, these juveniles were tried as adults, and the question was whether under the mandatory sentencing laws they could be put away for life without the possibility of parole. Justice Kagan said, no, juveniles are immature, they are evolving, and so on, and you can't put them away for life mandatorily without looking at the individual factors behind their crime, their maturity, and so on.
So just one follow-up with regard to, can a state decide at what age you are tried as an adult even though you are underage?
Oh, sure. They can certainly decide to refer it as an adult. This really factored in the sentencing issue and whether they can have these mandatory or required sentences that put juveniles away for life regarding a homicide or a murder. That's really what was at issue. And Justice Kagan said you can't have an automatic sentence. Now, maybe a jury or a judge can decide factors that indicate that it's appropriate in particular cases, but you can't have it mandatorily.
Not a lot of time left, but on Thursday, we're all waiting for Thursday. This is when the Supreme Court is going to hand down its decision on the health care law. Have you got any predictions for us?
Okay, well, I've tweeted my prediction, so you can go to at Dan Eaton Law if you really want to see my prediction. But the bottom line is that, Joanne, this is going to be one of the most historic days in Supreme Court history, no matter which way the Supreme Court rules. This is going to be exciting. This is going to be fireworks the week before the 4th of July in Washington, D.C.
I can tell you're excited.
Oh,
Dan,
boy,
thank you so much. And also I want to send viewers to kpbs.org. I know there's a much longer conversation with you on midday. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks, Joanne.
1 year and 3 days after a popular glass mosaic was removed from public property north of San Diego and Encinitas, the Surfing Madonna has a new home. It's about a mile away from the old site, and it's already drawing lots of attention. From amateur photographers to patrons enjoying a tasty beverage, the controversial Surfing Madonna is now sandwiched between a coffee and surf shop on North Coast Highway in Leucadia. So I decided to ask the Surfing Madonna what she thinks about this new location. Apparently, she's taking a vow of silence. This 10-foot-tall stained glass mosaic was considered graffiti and a religious icon on public property, forcing its removal from under this bridge last June in nearby Encinitas. The artist, Mark Patterson, put it up in secret and without city permission. He's now gone from outlaw to artist in residence.
It's nice not to have to worry about any kind of legal issues when you put something up like this on private property. It's a lot simpler.
Patterson says he completed the reinstallation Monday night, and Ralph Cruzy came down to see it. He's been fascinated by all the publicity and started collecting articles about it. Even got this one signed by the artist himself.
I'm going to have the only autographed original piece of it. This is a piece of art.
Friends Kathleen and Luann were also happy to see the mosaic in its new location.
She makes everything seem happy and joyful. And I think that's the difference between the two spots. One, she made you feel very safe, and here she makes you feel very joyful and happy.
The Surfing Madonna represents so many things, and it's not just religion, it's not just the ocean, it's just all of those things put together.
Mark Patterson says he's happy to have this artwork on display in his own neighborhood. He struck a deal with the property owner to keep it on permanent loan outside this building in Leucadia. Now, the artist says the mosaic represents the history and culture of San Diego. His bigger message is one of conservation, to save the ocean for future generations. Our next story might make you pause the next time you eat a banana, fertilize your lawn, or buy a new car. All three products sometimes travel great distances and are shipped to San Diego. Joanne is at the roundtable with more on what it means to be a port city.
During the primary election campaign, we heard a lot of talk about San Diego's port, as well as promises to make it bigger and better. Investigative news source KPBS's media partner has been looking into what the port means to San Diego, trying to measure the economic spin-offs of being a port city. Reporter Brad Racino decided to track a shipment from manufacturer to customer. We've been told it's never been done before. Here's a look at part one of the journey.
Around 5:30 a.m. on June 20th, the cargo vessel Jinsei Maru crawls past the southern tip of Point Loma and into the San Diego Bay, carrying thousands of cars from Europe. At 652 feet long, the Maru dwarfs the tugboat, maneuvering it into position. As big as it seems, Maru is considered a baby in the shipping world, where vessels can reach twice that size. Crewmen blend into the vessel's facade and throw mooring lines to the men below. Longshoremen from the local 29 wait patiently in the parking lot next to the terminal, smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee, and listening only half-heartedly to the morning safety briefing.
You're on that ramp, you could slide and run into the car in front of you.
The longshoremen make their way on board. The cars are destined for both northern and southern California, Utah, Nevada, and Arizona. And one car in particular is destined for Robert Malthouse, an eager Volkswagen technician in Henderson, Nevada. Hidden in a white protective wrapping, each car looks the same, distinguishable only by the shape of the body and the location of the exhaust. The full-body wrap protects the new cars from rail dust, tiny flakes of iron deposits that can settle into a car's paint, a result of the friction between a railroad track and the wheels of the train transporting these cars from a factory to a port in a country half a world away. Because factories like the one in Emden, Germany aren't able to outfit each car to the unique specifications demanded by customers and dealerships, port accessorizing comes into play. In a building a few hundred yards from the ship, owner's manuals are placed in glove boxes, spoilers are installed atop trunks, and portable solar panels are used to charge car batteries. After accessorizing, Malthouse's Volkswagen is ready, parked in space F-59, awaiting the next leg of its journey.
That report by Brad Racino, and Brad joins me in studio now. So, Brad, you followed a car. Why'd you decide to track a car?
Well, honestly, Volkswagen was the only company that would give us access. In this world of logistics, proprietary information like shipping and what carriers are used is extremely guarded and secret. And we tried to contact over 100 different unions and companies, and they were the only ones that were willing to play ball.
Wow. So you were on this show a few months ago, and at that time, you did a fact check. We heard a lot about campaign promises about the port. It was mayoral candidate Bob Filner who had made some claims that there was really no economic activity at the port. Your numbers obviously proved him wrong. I think billions of dollars worth of goods come through the port. But really, now in your reporting, you're trying to go beyond that, aren't you? You're trying to measure the spin-offs. What are you looking at?
That's right. Well, every shipment has a ripple effect. So there are a lot of different industries that are touched. They're not just longshoremen that are working here. You have security guards, you have Posh Automotive, you have warehouse workers, and then on another level you have federal agencies, you have customs that are there, you have truckers and unions, and what we're trying to show is how one shipment can actually touch all these different industries and affect a state's economy and a nation's economy.
We actually saw that in your report just a moment ago, too, because there were the people who had to do other things to the car, that prepping. So it wasn't just the longshoremen, there's another group of workers.
Right, right.
So now, I know part of your reporting, part of the reason you're doing this is because you were looking at the expansion of the Panama Canal. So how does that all relate to this?
Well, this is kind of the year of the port. The Panama Canal is slated to be open, the expansion, in 2014, late 2014. And when that happens, a lot of things around the country are going to fall into place. And right now, there's billions of dollars on the East Coast being dumped into infrastructure and developments, and the same thing here on the West Coast. So what I'm trying to show is how this one commodity affects everything and why money is being dumped in to all these ports around the country, and also kind of localize it here at San Diego, because there's a lot of talk about the port, especially with the mayoral race, and kind of show that this is, you know, it's an issue that touches a whole bunch of different industries and has a big effect. And
people can see more of your reporting and follow more of this car's journey if they go to kpbs.org, where you're going to continue to blog about it throughout the week. Thank you so much, Brad Racino.
Thanks.
With summer in full swing, San Diegans are heading to the beach, pools to cool off and get exercise. But for East African women in City Heights, taking a dip isn't so easy because many are Muslim and can't swim in co-ed pools. But that's changing. The story from Megan Burks of our media partner, Speak City Heights.
One more and you're done. Time to go, okay? One more.
Each
Saturday, staff at the Copley YMCA in City Heights clear out the pool and locker rooms early. They send their male lifeguards home, and female lifeguard Nicole Velasco clocks on for a special after-hours lesson.
The biggest process is shutting down the rest of the YMCA. The YMCA closes at 3 o'clock, just at the same time the women arrive. So we have to try and make sure that all of the men are out of the pool areas. We close the pool half an hour before the YMCA closes. And we close up all the doors, make sure all the men are out, and then open up the back so that we can have a nice flow of people out and in at the same time.
A group of about 15 East African women file through the back doors for a women-only swim class. The YMCA began offering it this spring after Muslim women in a group called City Heights Hope told the directors they can't swim in front of men. Sarah Abdi leads the group.
We are East African women who are coming to swimming are Muslims, and they don't want to come to socialize with men. And also when they're swimming, men cannot be viewing them.
Even in front of each other, the women stay covered up in rash guards and T-shirts. Some even ordered special Islamic swimsuits for the class. Miriam Adams says they're hard to find and expensive.
Well, this is the Islamic swimsuit. It covers your hand and the bottom part, and this is the pants. It covers all of your legs, like that. And this is the cap that covers your head, so only your face could show and your hair could be covered. It is not easy to find. I don't have one, but you can find it online or in an Islamic store or something.
For many of the women and their daughters, this is the first time they've been in a pool.
Kids I've never seen will walk in and know their way around a pool right away, whereas everybody that had come in, they're like, well, can we do this? Can we do that? Can I do it already? Can I get in? Can I get in? Are we going to start the lesson now? So it's a lot of fun to see that they really wanted to learn, too, not just get in and splash around.
Birafes Ali says she hasn't been in the water since she was a teenager in Ethiopia. She's learning all over again with her 3- and 5-year-old daughters.
Yeah, the first time it was kind of scary and exciting, and it's very good. And then, still I'm in the shallow. I did not go to the deep area, but it's very nice. The water is warm and someone is helping us. It is very enjoyable. Of course, every kid likes water, and I want they grow up like normal child. I want they learn how to swim, and I want they have fun. They are really having fun. They are very excited.
The classes aren't just about cooling off and having fun. They're the first step in making exercise more accessible for Muslim women in City Heights.
So they have diabetes, high blood pressure, and doctors are telling them all the time, go exercise, but where are they going to do it?
There are no gender-separated gyms in City Heights like in their home countries. And activities like walking through the park on a warm day can be especially hard because the women have to be covered from head to toe. The women also say they worry about safety in those parks.
In City Heights, there's gangs and there's a lot of activities that are going on near the parks. And sometimes when our women go there, people are calling their names and they kind of pushing them out. So it's really scary for them to be at the parks.
Researchers in City Heights say that community parks like this one in Colina del Sol are often underutilized because residents perceive them as being unsafe. For refugee residents, there are also cultural barriers to working out here.
Muslim people are not supposed to touch or close to the dog's mouth. It's not clean. And also in Africa, dogs are kind of wild, so you never see a good dog. So that kind of fear always stays with us. So when I see dogs or any woman of East African see dogs, we tend to be scared. So those two issues are really, the religion and the cultural are also affecting us to be close to the dogs.
The Copley YMCA plans to open a new facility in 2014. The women say they hope the new gym will give them the opportunity to practice yoga, use treadmills, and keep swimming.
And they are hopeful because, we are part of the society, so if we don't have access to the services that other people have, it's kind of making us isolated. So we're trying to break any barrier that we have. So our daughters, who are as American as anybody else, will be able to swim or do whatever they want to do. So there's no limitation at all in the future.
Megan Burks reporting for Speak City Heights. For more of her stories on life in City Heights, visit speakcityheights.org.
Tonight in the public square, your email. A bit of a grab bag tonight. We begin with Mary Reber and her comments about the plan to remove cars from the Plaza de Panama. She writes, "It continues to amaze me that there is no real discussion of the plan to substitute a paid parking garage for the now free parking behind the Oregon Pavilion in Balboa Park. Isn't anyone else upset by this part of the proposal?" And more on the presumptive Superior Court Judge, Gary Creep. Mr. Creep, of course, was featured on Evening Edition a couple of times, talking about his belief that President Barack Obama may not be a U.S. citizen. Beth Ward writes, "Information was available online that pointed to Mr. Creep's orientation as birther. Minutemen General Counsel, starter of conservative organizations. Voting responsibly means no guessing at the polls." We will follow up on this story tomorrow. The San Diego County Bar Association rated Mr. Creep as not qualified during the primary election campaign. Mr. Creep says he's going to investigate the bar's rating process. While a representative from the Bar Association will be on the show tomorrow to talk about that process. If you have a question or comment, you can send me an email, jferrian@kpbs.org, or post a comment on Twitter or Facebook.
And you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. You have a great night.